Now we will continue with the presentation from my colleague, Dr. Ghislain Hébert, who will give you a sketch of the projects and tools of depopulation that for 4 or 5 years. And so Ghislain has a doctor's degree in veterinary medicine since 1991, and since 92, and from the Médecine Vétérinaire de Montréal. He practiced medicine in the pork sector from 92-94 and the agricultural sector from 94 to 2018. During these years, he was involved on different committees related to these activity sectors, and he also contributed to development and implementation of training on different topics. And with veterinary medicine, since 2019, he's developing intervention plans with animal health for EQSP and for the control as a project associate lead. Ghislain? So, hi, everybody. And so, like Martin was saying, we worked on the depopulation measures because this belongs to the industry to work and to depopulate the animals once the farm is ordered to depopulate. So through these years, we developed a depopulation strategy. We're going to present this to you, and then we're going to go through the different methods that we described and that we developed during the years, and what are the restrictions and different ways to use them, and then we'll look at what are our next challenges. So we're going to talk about two types of population, and so this morning you're hearing about certain pigs that will be limited for depopulation. So these pigs we will have to depopulate on the site per se, and these can be infected or healthy, or again, all the pigs that are in surplus, so they will not be able to be sent out on the market because this market could possibly be lost. And so since there's no depopulation or no restrictions of movement, they will have to be depopulated on site or sent to the slaughterhouse, or again, there can be a central site that is determined and that we can have a depopulation there, and the pigs can be sent there. And so what you see here is our depopulation strategy, our plan, and we can see to your extreme left or right, the pigs with the possibility of movement in healthy that are healthy. So we have for each one of these production stages reviewed the methods of depopulation, either by the primary one that we would use, and again the secondary methods. And I think it's important to say that each time that we have a method, we always try to use methods that regarding the well-being of the animal, and we can depopulate the animal outside, that the animal be outside of the pig installation premises for its mortality. We want to ensure that he's dead outside of the pig premise, and so everything that we will do, the depopulation will be done outside, except for the secondary methods like the captive bolt pistol that we need to do outside for these animals. And so we'll go through all these steps or stages of production with the method.
So we'll start with the infected parts. Pigs and healthy pigs, all methods that will be used with these animals. So the methods used as a secondary method, what has been picked is a tool that will not produce any strong trauma. The EQSP has a good inventory of these tools, which will cover more or less all types of animals. We have pistols, cash-type pistols. We have the Magnum model, and we can cover all types of animals with that. That we also have a pneumatic pistol for piglets, smaller animals. We also have electrical wire kits for those who prefer to use such methods, for those who are not at ease with the pistols. So these methods could be used as a secondary method, or else when we have animals that cannot move because they are infected. So that's what we would like to consider. To use these pistols, we have cartridges. We have 80,000 cartridges of various strength. We have maintenance that is carried out with in order to maintain these pistols in good operational mode. Information was given throughout the years. You have more than 300 participants, as you can see, with about 20 training courses in English, French, and Spanish, so people can use these methods accordingly. Now, if we look at the primary methods, we have maternity piglets. We use gas, gassing. We tried with the CO2 or N2 nitrogen that could be used in various manners. So this is how we have used these gassing methods. We have developed with a company called Carbox a gassing boxes that heats the liquid gas and that will allow us to use the gas as it is required. Gassing for 5 minutes with a 5-minute waiting period in a contention box. This is a wood contention box that can be installed on site. It works well for CO2 as for nitrogen. We have a protocol that has been updated. It explains how to mount the kit. We have 52 kit boxes that can be put to the disposal of the persons who would be less apt to build themselves, but it can be done also through the instructions that we have. We have videos to support the use of this method, and we have also equipment that can be rented out if you want to use them at some other time. There were also training sessions for this gassing process. We had 3 training sessions in the past 3 years with 130 participants. You see all those involved here. Professionals, networks, consultants, or breeders, and people working within government settings in the regions where swine production is present. In order to be more efficient, we have developed 2 trailers, closed dump trailers in aluminum with a cover, a top, that is activated with cylinders. We also have the capacity to heat up the gas, an ambient heater in the trailer that heats up the air around the device, so this tool can be as performant as possible to really fill up the trailers. To increase our capacity in the depopulation, we have tested also gassing in commercial trailers where we had a cover, and we saw if the gas could be maintained for the given time. For the first 5 minutes, we have with a trailer or a closed dump trailer or with a cover, we see that with a commercial trailer, we maintain it less time, but the first 5 minutes is respected. So we could have a capacity to increase the number of trailers if we want to increase the total capacity for depopulation. There again, we have a protocol for this depopulation that is well described, available at the service supplier. He will be present on the spot to operate the evaporator and the injection in the trailers. We also have, for maternity piglets, we have a protocol for abortion induction. It could be that in some circumstances we could not move the animals for some period of time, 15 days, 30 days, as Caroline mentioned earlier. So it could be that we would have to make such a decision to produce abortion instead of letting piglets be born. We have worked on this with our vet team, especially for animals in surplus, but also in zones where animals could not be removed or moved away. This method would be last resource, and it would always be following vet plans and followed by a vet in order to meet the requirements of animal welfare. What was targeted in the protocol is that it should be gestation of between 2 and 80 days. The ultimate goal would be to diminish or restrict as much as possible euthanasia, and we want to diminish as much as possible the amount of kilos to eliminate. There's a protocol that was set up in the past years. With the necessary tools to induce abortions. We want to add up to the experience based on studies. We looked at the commercial products that would be available on the markets to assess to what extent this method could be used and be useful. So there's a good stock that is available that could cover our needs. So this method is also available and well described. And now, if we look at depopulation strategies for healthy pigs or infected pigs under movement restriction, we have a mobile team for euthanasia using electrocution, a mobile unit. You have pictures of this device. It is a closed 53-feet trailer. All the equipment is found inside for transportation. So it is insulated, climatized, and air conditioning with 3 electrocution units. So we can euthanize the 3 animals at the same time, depending on the size, and also stock of replacement equipment available that follows this trailer. We validated these processes for electrocution parameters. We made sure that we were meeting our objectives on a humane basis and in terms of speed. So we worked with electrocution with no secondary time lapse. We always wanted to keep in mind the safety of our staff and make sure that we would have an efficient euthanasia. With these 2 validation processes, we checked our parameters. We also validated the mobile euthanasia unit. We had 4 validation at different scales. So 3 parts, 3 animals, and then 81, and finally 32 animals. We wanted to validate various equipments of the whole structure, charging, on charging, in order to have as much versatility as possible. And finally, We made the fourth and final validation where we had 100 people. In October of 2024, we euthanized more than 300 animals over 2 days, from the smallest to the biggest animal we had in the unit, from 30 kilos to 300, 400 kilos, after which we, at the same time, with the Canadian agency, we trained these people for sampling, vet sampling, and also bio-confinement and elimination during these times. There's a service supplier, Mariupol company, also provided the unit and provided the services on year after year and on site. And also we have a transporter, which is Transport Level. I just signed a contract with them. There would also be, for surplus animals, the possibility of sending these animals to the slaughterhouse. That we would use the same form of euthanasia that is available for everyone, gassing, CO2, or electrocution with bleeding. For this method, what could happen is that there would be euthanasia, hanging, and animals would be sent for elimination. I won't explain the whole process for this elimination process. We worked with Quebec slaughterhouses, those who could take animals up to 20 kilogram or more, up to the market weight after that. Another one would start at 70. And we have 2 projects on the way for the shares of the market and for adult animals, for which we've had funding, and we, in order for the person to be able to use this method. So what are we up to in terms of these mobile euthanasia units? We have had these 4 validation. We're thinking about the automation of electrocution. We want to have the fall design, the design of the fall. We made a few trials. We would like to optimize this part. We would like to develop a good cleaning and disinfection process. And there's also some reflection on used waters. We want to develop a protocol. We want to work with the Ministry of the Environment to better use the used waters in a centralized unit, for example. We work also for poultry to develop euthanasia with nitrogen mousse. We have the equipment. When we will know better the utilization of these tools, we'll be able to transfer this technology to the hog sector with this new nitrogen mousse. That's what's coming up in the years to come.